Hey everyone, welcome back to today's live stream. We are working on prepping everything for the Nomadic cooling 48 volt rooftop AC, as well as the MaxxFan 7500k. So in an earlier live stream, we installed a Unaka Explorus.life roof rack. What's cool about that is you can max out the solar on a Ford Transit. It's 580 watts of area to put 580 watts of solar panels. There's two specific areas on the back side of the van. So you're gonna have two panels here that are a little bit wider, and then two panels here that are a little bit shorter. We're gonna move the camera to the top of the van so you can see the whole roof rack. But the point is, there are two spaces that we're gonna need to cut out. The one in the rear of a Ford Transit is fixed. So between this rib and this rib is 14 inches. So if you're gonna put a MaxxFan here, that's where you put it on a 148-inch Ford Transit. That's the wheelbase I'm talking about. For us, we're using it for the air conditioner. Now, since this is a fixed location, today's challenge is finding out where the solar panel ends or starts right here and where the back of the MaxxFan is gonna land. So it's gonna land about right here. But what we're going to do is we're going to install the Nomadic cooling AC unit first. We're going to measure from the nose out to figure out where it ends. There's a couple things that make it a little complex where we have a cross member for the bracing of the solar panels on the roof. So that's in the way. So for me, this is a fun puzzle. We're going to figure out where everything's going to go, and we're going to do it step by step. And it'll be great for you if you've never done this before. You're worried about cutting a hole out in your van because, I mean, cutting a hole in a brand new van is, or any van for that matter, can be stressful. I've done this a bunch of times, so it's not a big deal, but I'm gonna walk you through the whole entire process. So the back one is where we're gonna start. And what we're gonna do is, I always start from this rib and go backwards. So I don't start from the back rib, I start right here. And what I'm gonna do in just a minute is I'm gonna take a drill, and we got a drill bit, and we're gonna go right here on this edge, and then we're gonna drill straight up into the roof, and then that's gonna come out on the top of the roof. We're then gonna take our DIY van template or adapter plate, and we're gonna put it on top of the van, and we're going to slide it all the way back until it bumps up against the drill bit. So when it bumps up against the drill bit, we know that's our home position. We can take a permanent marker, we'll trace out the top of the roof. That's where we'll make our cut. We'll cut this hole out, and then we'll start the whole entire process of fitting the AC up top, we're just playing around with it so we can get comfortable where it's going to land before we put any adhesive or anything like that. So this stream, we're probably not going to actually install the whole entire fan. We're prepping everything for the install. And then I'll probably stop the stream, do some stuff in the shop, and then I'll get back on later this afternoon and we'll do the install. Because a couple things have to happen. We need to sand, we need to do rust preventative on both of these. We need to let that dry for an hour or two. And then, yeah, just stuff like that. So next what we're going to do is we're going to hop onto the other camera where we were last night on our workbench, and we're going to talk about what happens when we set the AC on, how the template and everything is put together, as far as, and also the supports. So let's move on to the camera on the other side of the desk. So I'm just going to redo our lighting. And throughout the live stream today, you guys can ask any questions in the chat. Doesn't have to be related to the van that we are what we're working on right now. So let's move the camera over. There we go. Let's see, get the tracking on here. Bingo. So I'm not waving hi to you guys. This camera I'm using, it's how I wake it up so it starts tracking me. It's my second cameraman in the shop here. All right, so what I've done is yesterday we did a unboxing of the Nomadic cooling 48 volt rooftop AC. What I've done is I flipped it upside down and we are looking at the top of it. And let me get my phone so I can make sure all the framing and stuff looks good. Okay, so come back over here. I lost my camera. There we go. Nice. So we got this flipped upside down, and there's a couple components that come with this. So we talked about this trim piece, a piece of foam that comes with 3M adhesive on the back of it. You get a smaller strip, and then you get this wider strip. And so I've looked over the instructions, and this one obviously is for our 14-inch by 14-inch opening. And so this, what we're going to do is we're going to take this adhesive off, and we're going to stick it to the bottom of this AC. Now I'll be kind of varying a little bit from verbatim what's online with whoever did the install. There's a couple things here that I see that I might change just because one is, now this is made for different size vans. So this foam on the outside extends past the gasket. So the problem with that I see is that when I put the gasket on here, there's now this hump. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut this side and this side off, and that's going to allow me to have this whole surface be nice and flush for the seal. I'm assuming this is done because if you have a wider opening that you're working with, yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll put this back on. It'll be nice and flush, and then this piece is for your leveling. So I think they use this mainly for maybe the X3. This X2 does not look like there's that much overhang on the back, and if you can imagine, all your weight is right here, but on this back side you have the compressor, and it's kind of overhanging. So it's kind of back heavy, and what they want to do is make it so that this is not, going back and forth and tilting. So you have this extra piece of foam, and typically on rooftop ACs, it's kind of positioned over here in the back. It's kind of like a resting point. The last two holes here that mount the compressor are back here, so that's where the majority of the weight is. So we're either going to put it here, or before we make a decision and commit to gluing anything down, I actually may put it here inside this channel because it's also where these supports are. And if I feel comfortable that this is mounted in a good way like this, then I'll go with that. So once we have our foam installed, that is going to be our seal for this unit. Now, some people may use sealant or may not. I will. So I'll probably be using 3M window weld to go around this as well as this back piece. And then what I'll do is the window weld will be applied to this piece. And so I'm putting this in the right orientation. So this is upside down. Everything's upside down now. So we'll use 3M window weld after we cut our hole out to glue in our template. I call it a template. This is a adapter plate. We'll clamp this down, and so essentially in this live stream, we're just dry fitting everything. I'll go ahead and clamp this down on the roof, and then we'll go ahead and we'll sit the AC on there. and we'll just see how everything lines up after we cut our hole. Because the first, I keep calling it challenges. It's just what we got to do. The next challenge is these support bars that clamp it down on the roof. So these really only work for flat roofs or RV roofs, for example, where we're mounting. It depends on where you're mounting it in your van. If you're mounting this in a location where there's a span and your cross members, like we talked about yesterday, if they're forward or back and they're not close to this, most people will take these bars like this and they'll build some type of 2x2 frame, a wooden frame around this so that they have a clamping surface to mount this to. For us, our clamping surface is going to be exactly 14 by 14. So the challenge that poses is where this is on the van. Let's see. Let me measure that really quick so I'm telling you guys the right thing. Okay, perfect. Let's get the camera back here. Hello. I'm on camera. Give me 1 second, my camera's frozen. Okay, let's get it tracking again. There you go. Okay, so what we have is our two cross members, and they are 14 inches apart. So this is what it's going to look like. So we have two options when we go for clamping. So let me move these over to the edge so I can give you like a real world example here. We'll even take out some bolts. So this is a challenge I ran into with the Adventure Wagon install. So Adventure Wagon has their own proprietary cross members that bolt, they actually rivet into the Ford Transit. So imagine these are the Adventure Wagon. So the problem is this goes too far, it comes too far into the van. So if you can imagine, this is the ceiling of the van. So you start to lose ceiling height because you're trying to accommodate this cross member. So if you put this in and then you need to go and put your ceiling in, the whole rest of the ceiling is going to have to lower to make up for this bar. So for example, okay. So let's just say this is how we're clamping it into our ceiling, our roof. So option one, like I said, you're going to make a wooden frame because your cross members are not in the way and you have no support and your roof's floppy. So you build your wood frame, like a 2x2 frame, and you're doing that to provide structure to the sheet metal. You glue it, and then this has a place to bolt to and clamp down. So that's a way to do it in like a regular RV or a van where you don't have those cross members. Now for us, in the back of a Ford Transit, we do have these cross members, but the problem there lies is that depending on how you want to do the build, you're either going to lower your roof to accommodate this cross member, like I was saying earlier, or you're going to modify this so that you have more of a low profile AC unit. I want the low profile, I want it clean, I want it up as high and as flush to the ceiling as possible. So the only way to do that is to actually, we got to get rid of this bar. So we're not going to be using these bars in our install. What we're going to do is we're going to do it how we did the Nomadic RTX 2000 and the other Ford Transit. And the way that we're going to make that work is we're going to have a square piece of aluminum tubing that has a specific angle cut. And the cross members in a Ford Transit, they're kind of at an angle. So if you've ever looked at them, they have these two angles on each side. And so they sit down like that in the van. And then we're going to cut this square tubing and match the angle. And then that piece of tubing is going to it's going to be inset into the van. And then we'll drill our holes, and then that way our cross members of the roof support and our square tubing that we're going to use to clamp the AC down will all be flush. It'll all be a flush component, and we won't waste any ceiling height. So that's what we're going to do with this. And so hopefully that makes sense. But if you guys have any questions, just put those in the comments. So that's kind of the layers of the sandwich that we're going to be working with. But again, today we're just going to take this and the one for the Max fan. We're going to lay these out and we'll do a dry fit. And once we're happy with the dry fit, we know all of our locations. We'll do our permanent marker, and then we'll cut it out. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to change cameras. We're going to put this camera on top of the roof of the van, and we're going to get started. So in the meantime, you guys are just going to see the inside of the van. Almost there. Okay, let's see if that gives us a wide enough angle to work with. guys can see I'm getting ready for a winter hike. Supposed to snow 5 inches in the mountains this weekend. I think 5 to 7. All right, so this is the top of the van, and as you can see, we've got a couple of things going on. We have our Max fan that's turned upside down because that's how we're going to have to average out where it's going to fit in between the two pieces of support rails, as you guys can see. All right, now that I know what we're working with here, I'm going to go hop up on the roof and we will keep on going with this install. Okay, welcome to the roof. So the two things that is our challenge on top of the roof. This fan, like I was just saying earlier, it's got to be centered just like this. So what we're going to do is, that's pretty much right spot on where it's going to be, just going to be upside down. So we're going to translate that line to a mark right here, and then we'll know that's where we want to start to install our fan. And what we're going to just confirm before we cut the holes out is where our drill bit comes out on top of the roof, where our adapter is going to be placed for the AC unit. So right now we're going to just take this and move this out of the way temporarily. Okay. All right, so here is what I was talking about. We have a second adapter plate, and this is for the Max fan. So you guys could see earlier, this is what we're going to make sure that we triple check on where this is going to go. Because you can't go too far back, or the back of the fan's going to hit. Can't go too far forward, or the front of the fan's going to hit, which is obvious. But this one will be fixed. So this is what we're going to locate right now. And to make our life easier, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up really quick. It's good to keep your working surface really clean, because after you cut out with a jigsaw and everything, stuff tends to get really messy and dirty. And if you just constantly keep everything nice and clean, it's going to be a better install experience. Another reason you want to keep the top of your roof clean when you're working on it is, once you put this AC in here, you're not going to come up here with a wash mitt and clean up underneath it. You're not going to come back. So you need to make sure it's as clean as it can be first, or while you can access it. All right, I want you guys to watch for the drill bit, because I'm going to go ahead and drill up under here. Just going to center my drill bit. Okay, so there's my drill bit. So underneath here, I'm going to take a piece of tape. All right. It's okay, guys, I'm human. I have 12 rolls of masking tape in the shop, and you know how it is. They just disappear when you're on camera for some weird reason. All right, here is our bit. Let's go down here and let's grab our trim ring. I'm gonna grab some water really quick because I'm talking too much. Yeah, we're gonna get our other adapter ring and we're gonna slide it up there. I need to go ahead and grab a permanent marker too. There we go. Okay, we have our material. We're coming back up. All right, so here is our template. I keep calling it template, adapter, whatever. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so there's our adapter, right where it needs to be. Okay, so I'm gonna go back down and I'm just curious the distance between the front of this and this rail before we go any further. All right, so the distance from the front of the AC unit to As long as we have 3 inches from the inside of the template, we will not touch the roof rack. All right, so we need 3 inches of room, and we have 5 inches of room. So that's excellent. Perfect. So now that we've verified that, let's measure the back. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is designed for an X3 footprint. And even though I looked at the dimensions, I just like to do it when it's in real life. So we got, let's see, we got 14 inches from the inside of the template. And we have, let's see, that is 11.5 inches. So man, we were kicking butt. Everything is going to plan. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to trace this out without falling off the ladder. So measure, it's 5 inches, 5 inches, okay. So now, so you see why cleaning our roof makes a difference. It's nice and clean. We can mark on it with a marker. Everything's good. And just like with our windows, we're going to cut on the line. So now what I'm going to do, let's go back to this front one while we're up here. Let's lay this back down and let's measure where we're going to sit this guy. Okay, so we've got, right now we've got 1 inch on the back clearance. Let's see if we can make 1 inch on the front. Is that possible? Man, we are right at exactly 1 inch. Okay. So now we need to figure out where is this lining up. Come down. So right there, that's where we're lining up. So we need to add 1 inch to this measurement. So we got 9 inches. 9 inches from the frame. Let's double check our mark. We're off a little bit. Let's go here. Okay. So that gives us 9 inches. Bingo. 9 inches. In front of this fan, we've got 1.5 inches. So let's do 15.5 inches. And if we're 15.5 inches, actually, let's see. Yep. So 15.5 inches and we're safe. And we've got 16 inches. So good to go. So we wrote down 9 inches just to make sure we know where we're at. So we need to make sure that we are 9 inches from the inside to the back of the panel here. Okay. So right there's 9 inches. And I'm just going to put a temporary mark here because this type of stuff, you only get one chance to get it right. And my gut is making sure that when the lid of the fan opens, we're going to have enough front clearance if it has like a little bit of an angled opening. So we got 2 inches. Let's see what 2 inches of clearance does on the front. So what I'm doing is I'm opening the fan. Okay, so when the fan opens, nothing gets obstructed. There's no like forward movement that's, weird. Okay, so our 9-inch mark from this to the inner side of the frame is good to go. So we'll keep our tape measure out. And let's see, let's just get that locked in. Okay, we're going to put a piece of tape. Be careful where you support yourself on top of a van roof because it's floppy if your hand is not on the support. That's a benefit to us for the AC because we've got dual supports on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and trace this out. And we got every corner. All right, looks good. So now that we've laid both of these out, we know we've got good clearance in the front and the back. Our AC fits. We can now take our templates off. Be gentle with these because they're good templates, but they're very thin in the middle. Okay, so we'll cut this out like we cut anything out, which is we're going to drill a hole and we're going to put the jigsaw in, cut it out. I'm just looking at my left to right spacing. sometimes it'll change when you put the adapter on. The left to right part can move on you. Okay, so this one's done. Go. And just like that, we've traced both of our templates on the roof. Not too bad. So what I'm going to do now, let's see. So we need to go and we need to move all this out of the way. My goal is to be able to cut this without taking these panels off the roof. My brain is thinking. You like a little timer to go up on the screen where I'm thinking about what's my next step here. So these are not bolted down. And one thing I will need to do is get on top of the roof physically, so not from a ladder. I need to probably get both ladders out now. Okay, so this side's good to go. Put this towel over here. Yeah, we're going to need to let's see. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need the other ladder. So we're going to get the other ladder. We're going to move this panel to that back side. Going to put a bigger towel over here so we can get on the roof and actually support ourselves. We want to stay between this back and then these two spaces so that we can not mess the roof up. That is the goal. Awesome. We got 4 people in the live stream right now. I haven't checked to see if you guys have questions. For those new to the live stream, you can put some questions in the chat if you have any questions about what is going on right now. So we're installing, or we're cutting out the roof of the Ford Transit to make room for the Nomadic cooling 48 volt AC and the Max fan. I'm just prepping the roof here. Let's see if I can change this light. Get some light up there. There you go. Okay. So I think we're going to have enough room. The challenge will be, this will be easy. The challenge is going to be this one, to see if we can even get the jigsaw that close to that. We'll go ahead and cut out this one just to show you how to do it while I'm up here on the roof. And then I'll probably stop the live stream, I'll try this because I'm thinking we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to move the panel that the camera's all set up on. Yeah, I at least want to get the AC test mounted up here during this live stream. This is all part of a tutorial, but if you guys want to know what I do behind the scenes, this is being recorded the whole entire time. And then I can take that and I can take clips from it and do other videos. So this is the long one. Okay, let's get a new drill bit for our roof cutout. So you need a drill bit big enough to cut the roof out. And then we're gonna need the jigsaw and tape. Okay, we got tape up there. We need to pick up our jigsaw. Where we put it? There we go. So I'll be up there in just a minute. So we're getting fresh jigsaw blades. Okay, looking good. Okay, drill, jigsaw blades. Safety glasses, hearing protection. Everything. Still need to get our pad, our kneeling pad, and let's see here. Move the camera up just a little bit. So right here and right here you can stand on. This part right here you can, but this right here you can't. So what I do is I have this, I think it's called like a Z-Lite camping pad. It's like a camping. And I just kind of get it all folded up. And then this makes sure that I'm safe on the roof where I'm not gonna dent anything. Now it's not a 100% guarantee, but as you can see, my knee is right here on the support. So this is okay. So if you're wondering how to get up here, this is what you want to do. All right. So we want to make sure that we're not scratching the paint, especially on the roof. You're going to want to make sure you're taping where these high spots are, because that's where, when you turn the jigsaw, it's where it's going to hit. And then if you have an air compressor or you have a leaf blower or something like that, if you're doing this outside, as soon as you're done, you've got to blow all the metal shavings off as completely as possible. It will instantly turn to rust. And if you don't get them all off, that rust kind of embeds in the paint. It's not the end of the world, but it's a pain to clean. And also, we all know nobody is going to take the AC off and clean under here. Once it's on, that thing is on there for the life of the van. So you see that right here, that popping? So that's my knee going too far forward. So it doesn't hurt anything. It's just if you do it too much or say you have an accident, you put too much weight on it, it can put a little dent in there. Again, it's not the end of the world, but you can avoid it. Okay, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna turn the volume down because this is gonna be loud as heck. Take the drill bit out, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this hole out. But just for the heck of it, let's just play and see if I can actually. You know what? Thankfully, I think I won't have to take these solar panels off to get this first one done. Okay, in that case, let's go ahead and tape it up. Why not? All right, we're gonna move. So we want to have, again, right here, this is the strong part. So watch when I put my knees on, nothing happens. And that'll give me enough time to move this pad. Okay, and now change positions. Again, it's okay if it pops. You just don't want to be there forever. So, do you guys see this? See how floppy the roof is? Depending on how I feel the structure of the max fan is on this location is going to let me know if I'm going to reinforce this. I do have a kit from DIY Van just in case I run into a situation like this where I need to add supports. Usually after I glue the adapter plate on, and then I actually bolt the Max fan down. So I do bolt everything down. I don't screw it down. After I bolt it down and put this frame down, it's usually extremely rigid. So this right here will be resolved. If it's not, we can install the DIY Van support members. So they're just two pieces of CNC plastic that you will glue up in the ceiling with the same stuff, that window weld stuff I keep talking about, which is exactly what it is. It's the 3M product that's used to adhere windshields to the front of a car or van or anything. It's what the glass is. That's what holds the glass on. I think it's a urethane adhesive. Okay, we're just looking again. You're just going to want to go through here and mock up, if you've never done this before, how you're going to do your movements, because you don't want to. Like I said, if I needed to move these panels, that would be a pain in the butt. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. Luckily, I think I can get away with just going straight, cutting an extra hole here to go one way here and then one way this way. So here's our two holes. All right, so that's done. We're going to go down. We'll turn the volume down. So if you guys can't hear me, it's because I don't want this to blow your eardrums out. But yeah, we're gonna cut the volume off. I may use the other microphone to feed it a little bit in, just so people know that nothing's wrong with the live stream. So, all right, when I come back up, the volume will be down. Okay guys, I'm back on the microphone here. We're gonna go and we're gonna put our adapter plates up from DIY Van, and then we're going to test fit both of the Max fan and the Nomadic AC. So I'll be back on the roof in just a second. I went ahead and trimmed the part of this roof gasket. Like I said I was going to do earlier in the live stream to make sure it was nice and flush. I may be able to showcase that when I go back up to the top of the van. But for now, I guess I'll just have to wait until I get back up top. So I'm going to come down here and take a picture of it, and then later on in the live stream we can actually talk about it. So what I did is, I'll just show you. All right, so I'll take a picture of it. Okay, so I'm taking this adhesive off. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm gonna take this adhesive off and then I'm gonna get back on the roof and we'll set the Nomadic AC on and we'll see how everything looks. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the second camera inside the van and that's where we'll take the end of the stream today. I'm temporarily putting the foam pad on the back. Let me just get it up there and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here is the solo attempt. I've taken the Nomadic cooling 48 volt up a ladder. Whew, okay, it was not terrible. So I cut here and I cut here so that this, when this gasket went in, it's nice and even. So that's what I did off camera. I kept this spacer loose because we're gonna find out right now how where the center of gravity is on this and if it's gonna be all floppy like some people have said. Or that I've heard. All right, how's the stream going? Still live? Good. Plan is to just roll this right on top. So right now, it's obvious that this trim piece is going to have a gap here. But depending on how much clamping force we do when we clamp it down, this still might act as a support. So that's why I like to test fit everything, because you see things that you don't think about when you are on the workbench. So I think it's good practice to do that. I'm gonna set this back down really quick. Okay. I need to tape this. So it doesn't move all around. And be careful, because there's still a little bit of metal filings up here. I just got one in my finger. Okay, I think it's gonna hold. All right, so let's roll this over. Try not to slip and drop it. That would be terrible. Okay. Wait for my framing up here on my phone to catch up. Let's see, where's my live? Nope, come on. Come on, phone. All right, let's see if I can get this to. All right. All right. Let me change the camera angle because this is important. Because I want to show you guys what I cut on the top of the foam, because once this gets flipped over, I might not actually film it going back up and down. So let me just angle the camera up here. You guys can see. There we go. Okay. Let's come down. Down, down, down. All right. So now that I know you guys can see what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and test fit this. I'm pretty excited to see what this is going to look like. Okay. So right here, we've got this piece of foam in the middle, and I cut the sides off so that when this foam piece got sealed in, it's not going over a hump. Because it doesn't make any sense to me why that is like that, which I'll probably give those guys a call and say, hey, why is that so wide? Could be because of, if you have a opening that's bigger than 14 by 14, you might need that extra sealing surface. That's my guess. But here we go. Let's go ahead and lean this down. Looking good. Again, I don't think I'm gonna get over how incredibly light this is. I mean, it's heavy, but I mean, for rooftop AC, man, this thing is awesome. All right, that's it. So this is what it looks like. Super low profile, really, really cool. Also, I was thinking that I could actually take this solar panel and get 2 more, but it is, it's wide. It's pretty wide. The other solar panel is going to come here, which is fine. So you got that nice room, which is good because this thing does need to breathe. Okay, so here we go. We got this up on the roof. This is what it looks like. Let's step off the ladder here. We got, my worry about where this is going to be put and where this is resolved. I'm not really worried about that now. I will we're going to go underneath the van. We're going to go inside the van to do the rest of this video. I'm trying to see what my backside looks, the back of the AC unit looks like. Okay. All right, that's what I wanted to know. So, do you see that? So that kind of, that seesaw right there. This is what they're talking about. I'll be honest, when this is mounted to the top of the van, this is not going to go anywhere. So I don't even think that's an issue. But let's take this out. Let's move it back here to the back. This is why we test fit, so we can play around and figure out what makes this component happy where it's at. So I think, since this is already touching in the back, we may put this foam piece in the back. I think we might do it. So now, see, this thing it's solid. It's not teeter-tottering because we put that spacer in the back. So we'll probably put it on, and we're not going to glue it or anything like that. I'll probably flip it over so that the adhesive is sticking to the van, and then this is just resting on the top of it. I think that'll be the best way to do it. Let's go inside the van and we'll wrap up the stream for today. Hold on. Here we go. All right, we're back inside the van. So what we've done is we've got two things in that have we've been waiting to get in. We got our Max fan. Get these pieces of metal here off. So Max fan, this is where it's going to be. And right here is where the kitchen galley is, so we still got some good distance, or closeness, I guess I should say. We got a perfect cutout, so it is absolutely perfect, right on the money. Back here on the AC, this is looking good. Let's see here. So I'm gonna get those studs. I'm gonna screw them in so we can look and see what this is doing. So this is the piece that we're going to use to divide the, well, I might actually use a different piece of foam, because what we have to do here is this, you almost have to create like a wall here, and then here. Because we need to separate the intake from the exhaust, and remember our inside the van, this is where our ceiling's going to be, so we're probably going to have to use that pink foam, that rigid foam, and some that aluminum duct tape, and then we'll just seal this off so these two chambers are independent. But I'm just temporarily putting these in, because this is going to help me center, which we're just, that's pretty much perfect there. Here. Yeah. So we could move the back just over a little bit. Our seal, the seal is excellent. So, yeah, the seal is great. It looks really good. So the next thing I might do is, when you're building a van, you have to think like this. You have to know that this panel is going to be cut out eventually. So getting excited and going ahead and installing this, what I'm going to do is pause. So we got here. We're still going to do our window weld to glue both of these adapter plates to the top of the van. Before we do that, we're going to sand. We'll do our rust preventative. Then we'll glue those down. We'll clean everything up on the roof so everything's set and ready to go. But then we're going to pause and we're going to go and get our ceiling panels. And just like we did this, where we put the panel on and we traced on from the outside, we're going to take our two ceiling panels that go here and here. So I think we got three. So we'll just use the rear two. Then we're going to temporarily screw them up in the ceiling. Then we're going to come down with a marker and we are going to mark out our cutout. And then that way we're going to have our 14 by 14 cutout here. And then we'll have our 14 by 14 cutout here. And then all we have left to do is we're going to build down our air box here and here and our divider and get that in place. That way when we go to put our insulation in and our ceiling panel, we don't have to go back and forth. So we can put our insulation and our ceiling panel in, and then once the ceiling panel is in and we don't have to change anything, run any wires or anything, we're just going to leave this AC unit sitting here. So, and then we'll take it out to trace the panel. And then later, once we're finished with the ceiling, then we'll do a final, we'll put it in place. So that will be the plan. Of course, it might change, but that's the current plan. All right, guys. Wanted to, I guess I got tape and drill bits all over the place. Let me zoom this out. Perfect. Hold on. I know I'm out of focus here. There we go. Okay, hopefully the camera, I don't know if it's still moving. Okay, are we in focus? It's pretty good. All right, guys, that's it for the live stream today. I wanted to, before we go, talk about our DIY van build cheat sheet. So if you don't know what our DIY van build cheat sheet is, it's essentially an Excel document of the past 3 years of all of my Amazon shop purchases. So if I bought something for the shop off of Amazon, I put it on this list, and it's all there for you guys to check out. It's all organized. There's over 250 curated items on here. The curation is essentially that they're organized. You can search for it. It's got everything in here, solar, even tools, like roofing, solar, HVAC, hardware, fasteners. My favorite part of this whole list is the tools section. So this is all the weird stuff that I bought to make my life easier when I was building vans. So anything from like the rivet nut drill adapter kit for the plus nuts and rib nuts install, the ferrule crimping tool for electrical terminals, the hydraulic cable lug tool, which is a hydraulic crimper from 6 gauge all the way to 4/0. All kinds of stuff on here, even water systems. Like yesterday we talked about the water pump that's on here. You just hover over the link, you'll see a photo. But this list right here is completely free. So all you have to do is put your name and email address, click download now. It'll be sent directly to your inbox. and you guys can use this to help you with your DIY van build. You can also head on over to Van Builder HQ if you're interested in looking at a couple of our articles, blog posts about tons of different topics, van related. We go in depth on all kinds of stuff from electrical to solar panel to interior lighting, storage options. Yeah, check it out in the link in the description below or vanbuilderhq.com. I also want to give a shout out to my custom van business, Odyssey Custom Vans. So if you guys are interested in a custom build, this is where you would contact me. The van that's right here is currently for sale as of filming this video. And if you guys are interested, you can contact me about this. There's a video where we took this van to Adventure Van Expo in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we were able to show it off. It was really cool because a lot of our subscribers came out and just came out to say hi, which was really, really cool. Good to see everybody in person. So thanks so much for coming out. But check out that video. It's a quick walkthrough. The only thing that's not completed in there is the plumbing system. So with any type of show deadline, some things get missed. So that was our only thing that we didn't get to. But if you want to see the details in the van, here's everything that's in the van. Quick overview. We got 600 amp hours of Renogy Smart Lithium. Half of the battery bank, so 300 amp hours, is self-heating in case it gets below freezing. So you can still operate your van. We've got shore power. We've got a 3000 pure sine wave inverter charger with the Renogy Rego system. So that's their new off-grid system that combines with the M1 controller. So it's an all-in-one system. This one has the Nomadic RTX 2000 12-volt air conditioning unit up top, the Webasto AirTop Evo 40 with the auto altitude adjusting gasoline heater. And then we've got the Rivati sink along with the Isotherm Cruise 130 stainless steel fridge, which is a huge fridge. And we have a ton of water storage. We've got 40 gallons of fresh water storage. We've got 16 gallons of gray water storage for the shower. It's a Tetravan shower, and the 16 gallons of gray water is just dedicated for the shower. So you can keep that separate. We have a 7-gallon gray water holding tank for the sink, which is upgradable to 14 gallons. There's enough space for another 7-gallon tank underneath the sink. And then we have 4 gallons of hot water provided by a Bosch residential hot water tank that is in the van. And yeah, here's a couple of photos. We haven't created the nice fancy video yet, but here's a couple photos of the current build. It also has a Freeman seating flip and fold seat, which is really cool. Flips out of the way when you're not needing it. You got some friends, family, kids that want to come on a trip, you can fold it down and seat them in the back. So you got enough seating for 2 rear passengers. We got swivel seats on the front. This is the hidden floor shower pan. In this photo, it's just the raw wood, but it's actually going to be covered in lawn coin, so you won't even see it. It'll almost disappear right into the floor. It's flush mounted to the floor, so you're not going to trip over it. In the back, we've got a Flatline Vanco 500-pound heavy-duty drawer slide tray for your mountain bikes. And the bed system is a Flatline Vanco bed system. It's also completely removable. So if you needed to haul some gear or anything like that, that bed in the back is completely removable, so you can regain your cargo van and transport things with it. We've got 420 watts of solar up on the roof. Also, the solar system is, we have a dual pole, dual throw breaker in the back. This is important because not only do we have the appropriate inline fuses for the top for the panels in case of a short, but this is really, I don't see this all the time in DIY van builds, and it's really important to not only segment your panels for efficiency, but have a place to fully disconnect your solar panels from your van. Solar panels are always on. There's no way to disconnect them unless you put in this type of specific breaker. So I put this in all my builds. This down at the bottom is a thermostatically controlled exhaust fans. So it's dedicated to make sure that the power system does not overheat, get too hot. So it's monitoring it the whole time, even when you're not in the van. Lagoon table mounts. We've got overhead shelf. We've got Rigid Industries amber scene light so that you guys can hang out outside the van. Just have a really nice and comfortable time hanging out. Fiamma F45S manual awning. And yeah, that's the van. So if you guys are interested in purchasing this van, you can contact me, sales@odysseycustomvans.com, or my phone number. And right here, this is the best way to get in touch. So let me zoom in. The screen looks weird. So the best way to get in touch is to click here on this link. This will pull up my calendar, and you can directly schedule a time and date that works best for you. If you guys are interested in talking about this van or coming over to see it. If you're not interested in this van, but you're looking for a custom build, like the one we're doing behind me for a customer, on the left-hand side, this is just a quick little instructions on how to get prepared to hop on a phone call to do a consultation for a future van build. So just read that. You do the same thing. Click over here, find the date, time that's most convenient for you, and we'll hop on a call and talk about your custom van build. All right, guys, if you stayed for the whole entire stream, I really appreciate it. This will be combined later into a tutorial on install, but just like to do live stuff in the shop so we can go through, talk you through how I actually build and the reasons I do some things and the way that I install, prep, tools, and stuff like that. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and share this video to anybody that is working on installing a Max fan or a rooftop AC and would need some help on making sure that they are prepared to go ahead and cut that big hole into the top of their new van. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you on our next live stream.